G'day there Guardians, it's that time of the week. We've got the vendor roll videos, and as usual we are starting with Tyra Karn and the artifacts that she's brought with her this week, the week beginning April the 18th. So, we've got Memory of Yolda at a 107, not too great for tier 12. We've got a Memory of Silumar. I think this is possibly the best one we've seen at 123, Intellect Discipline. This is handy in the Crucible when it gives you that resistance to damage over time attacks, so it drops the number of ticks from 6 or 7 down to 2, I think. And it also reduces the amount of damage you take from those ticks. And then Memory of Teema at a 115, so not so great for tier 12. The best one here is the Silumar at a 123 roll, and that could well get you to tier 12.
Good fighter.
This week Shiro has a Mantle of Perun at a 58. This is a tier 12 roll, but I would not personally buy it. I will say this every single time. I only buy perfect roll class items and ghosts. And the Scory's Iron Bond is also a 58 for the Warlocks, but again, not perfect. Quickly, the Older's Iron Sash, only a 56, so definitely not worth touching. This week, Eris Morn actually has some decent stuff. She's got a Cloak of the Dusk Torn for the Hunters at a 58. Again, it's not perfect, but it's actually the best one I've seen for the Hunters ever. And she also has a Curse of the Hidden, again at a 58 for the Warlocks. Once again, not perfect roll, but it is the best one I've ever seen her sell. Last week she sold a good Titan mark. This week it's only a 57. For the Hunters this week, Cade has these KD Bogatyr 2.0 gauntlets at a 96 roll, down from 99 perfect roll. Intellect Strength, not too shabby if I say so. It's auto rifle reloader, fastball, so you increase that grenade throw distance and impact induction, bonus grenade energy on melee hits, and intellect and strength. He's also got this ghost over here, which is the first ghost in his inventory here. Intellect Strength, a 59 roll. It's not a perfect roll, but it is pretty good. It's got Spin Metal and Cabal. You're never going to find that combination, but Spin Metal's handy. Cabal, you know, gets that glimmer. Either way, it's a 59 roll. It can get you to tier 12. This week, Zavala has this Vitruvius mark for the Titans at a 59 roll. Intellect Strength. It's got upgrades for hand cannons, and also for rocket launcher focus it has Vanguard champion, but that's all he's got this week. It's not a perfect roll either. For the Warlocks this week, Akora Ray has an Ice Age Bond at a 59 roll, has increased scout rifle or shotgun focus, and then we've got Vanguard champion, has that funky Vanguard logo on it, and a bit of a flameage happening. We've also got this ghost down here. Again, it's only 58, but it does fall within the tier 12 category. We've got Spirit Bloom, and Killing Fallen will generate additional glimmer. That's handy, especially if you're on Venus, Killing Fallen, but not so much for the raid so much. It's handy for this week's raid, however, the Wrath of the Machine. For the Hunters this week, Shaxx has this chest piece here at a 142. It's pretty good, down from 147 max stat, so that's not too bad. It's got Solar Recovery, Solar Armor, so handy if you're running that Gunslinger class, particularly in the Crucible, Pulse Rifle ammo, and Fusion Rifle ammo, and again it's got Intellect and Discipline. He also has this shell over here, which is an Intellect Discipline roll, 59. Again, not perfect, but hey, it's close. If you want to spend 75 legendary marks, you could. I personally would not, but it has Worm Spore Detector, and killing Titans in the Crucible will gain you additional glimmer. Shaxx has this helmet for the Titans this week at a pretty darn good 109 roll. It's down 2 points from 111, the max stat. Has better already, which helps your shield start recovering as soon as you pick up an orb. That's assuming you don't have your super or you're wearing a helmet that allows you to pick up orbs. The Inverse Shadow, one of my favourite perks, which gives you increased super energy from killing minions of the darkness, so it only applies in PvE activities. like the Raid, for example. Second Thoughts is basically the same, but only applies to special weapon kills against minions of the darkness, and it is an intellect discipline roll. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better helmet than this, other than perfect roll and maybe with infusion. For the Warlock, Shaxx has these Raku Izumi 4s. These boots are not too bad. They're a 130 roll from 135 with increased sniper ammo and rocket launcher ammo. We've also got solar double down or second wind, where on respawn you get increased weapon and movement speeds. We've got obviously discipline and strength here. And then we've also got this bond over here, which is actually a perfect roll intellect discipline bond for your Warlock. 75 legendary marks. If you don't have a perfect roll bond, I would recommend picking this one up. With pulse rifle focus and fusion rifle focus, Crucible champion, it's handy for getting increased Crucible rep in the Crucible. But increased discipline and intellect, it's a perfect roll there. I would recommend grabbing that one. This week, Dead Orbit has these handy boots, the Endling Strides for the Hunters, at a very, very handy 133 roll. It's 2 stat points down from perfect, from 135. They are discipline strength. They have sniper rifle and machine gun ammo. They've also got void double down and increased discipline strength, obviously, which makes them pretty handy, but up to you whether you get these. 2 stat points off of perfect, I think, is worth the buy. For the Warlock, Zarak Jalal has this Endling Hood helmet at a 107 roll, which is just in that 12 tier range. It's pretty good. 111 is max for the helmets, with better already, where you get increased recovery on your shields as soon as you pick up an orb. Hands-on gives you bonus super energy from melee kills against minions, and heavy lifting is the same with heavy weapons instead. Intellect strength roll. It's a pretty good roll for the Warlock helmet. This week, Future War Cult for the Hunters has this chest piece here at a pretty good roll, 144, down from 147, perfect stat. Chest piece can be hard to find at perfect stats. Intellect strength, scout rifle ammo, and also sidearm ammo, handy if you're running those weapons, particularly in the Crucible. Solar recovery, solar armor, again for the gunslinger class, intellect and strength. And Lakshmi also has this ghost down here, which is actually a perfect roll. So this one's an ideal one to grab. The only problem is Wormspore Detector and Fallen. So Ether Seeds and Wormspore Detector, they don't really go together, but that doesn't really matter. You could run it in the raid if you don't have a Dread Explorer shell for this week's Wrath of the Machine raid. It's a handy one to have. Intellect Strength, perfect roll. I would suggest picking that one up if you don't have a perfect Intellect Strength roll. The Titans only have this Eon Tracer mark at a 58 roll. Again, not perfect. It is something you might consider. I personally would not for 75 legendary marks. It has upgrade rate for hand cannons and also Crucible rep. And for the Warlocks, Lakshmi has these Eon Tracer legs, discipline strength roll at a 131 down from 135. That's pretty good. And it has shotgun ammo, machine gun ammo. You might run around in the Crucible with that, for example, along with arc double down, handy for those tickle fingers stormcallers. And then we've got increased discipline and increased strength. New Monarchy this week have these handy high command boots for the Hunter at a 131 roll. 131 down from 135 is pretty darn good for boots. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Shotgun ammo and rocket launcher ammo. Arc double down, and again, of course, it's intellect and strength. And Executor Hideous has this high command bond for the Warlocks at a 58 roll. Nowhere near perfect by any stretch. It does fall into that tier 12 category with upgrades for auto rifle and also for machine guns, but Crucible champion, intellect strength roll. I wouldn't recommend spending marks on that, but if you are hard pressed and you really want something, maybe you consider that. I would personally go and see Shaxx. For the hunters this week, the speaker has this Venom of Ikahika cloak, which is a 59 roll with pulse rifle upgrade or Vanguard champion. But more importantly, down here, this Gunslinger's cloak is a perfect intellect discipline roll. If you don't have a perfect Gunslinger class subclass cloak, I'd recommend grabbing this for 75 legendary marks. Perfect roll, intellect discipline, has scout rifle focus or sidearm focus to upgrade those quickly, and Vanguard champion, obviously intellect and discipline. Not much on offer for the Titans this week, other than this Defender's Mark here has a 59 roll. Again, not perfect, but pretty handy. Has auto rifle upgrade or Vanguard, well, and Vanguard rep, sorry. And also this Sunbreaker's Mark is a 58. Both of them fall within the tier 12 type of category, but again, I only ever roll perfect class items for my, well, I'd only ever buy a perfect roll class item for my characters. And for the Warlocks, the speaker has this Stormcaller's Bond at a 59. Again, not perfect. It's right up there, but it's not perfect. It is an intellect strength roll, 59. It has upgrade increase for hand cannons and for fusion rifles. Obviously, intellect strength increase there in Vanguard champion. Meanwhile, in the Reef, Variks only has this King's Mantle for the Hunters this week at a 58 roll. Not perfect, not even close to perfect. I mean, it is close, but it's not a 59, it's 58. So I wouldn't recommend picking this up, especially for a Legendary Engram and 5000 Glimmer, unless you absolutely just want to burn through Glimmer. But there are better ways, like these heavy ammo synths with Ether Seeds, for example, the perfect way to rank up your faction. That's it for this week, Guardians. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please give it the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch, BoylerRoom81. Thanks for watching, Guardians. I'll see you next time.